Hello and welcome. I'm Bonnie Dickson, and I'm excited to be joined today by special guest Helen Chang. Today, we're talking about why and how a book will get you more clients online. Before we dive in, let me tell you a little bit about Helen, and I'm going to read from my notes so I don't miss a thing. Helen is a best-selling ghostwriter, author, speaker, and entrepreneur, founder and editorial director of Author Bridge Media, which has assisted more than 450 authors to write, design, and publish their books for credibility, revenue, and raving fans. Her authors have landed interviews with top media, including CNN, CNBC, Fox, Forbes, The View, and the Tim Ferriss podcast. With just one book, a client author launched a $100 million empire. Oh my gosh. So Helen, I'm so excited to pick your brain on this topic because in today's world, it's more important than ever to utilize tools to get more clients online. And a book is a powerful way to do that. For you watching this video, either now or on the replay, please feel free to pop a question in the comments and tell us your experience with this. Do you have a book? Do you want to write a book? So Helen, first tell us briefly how you got started doing this.
Well, I've been writing since I was 5 years old. And Bonnie, it's such a delight to be here. I'm so thrilled to be chatting with you about it. And I've been writing poems since I was 5 years old. Grew up to become a business journalist, writing for publications like Business Week, San Francisco Chronicle, and MSNBC.com. So, I met a lot of entrepreneurs. And, I learned that entrepreneurs never have just a success story. They always have failure stories too. And eventually one entrepreneur that I knew asked me to ghostwrite his book. And I thought, sure, I'd love to write a book. I've always wanted to write books, and how great to be able to get his message out there. And so, I got going writing his book and I was super excited. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the next Think and Grow Rich, right? Or the next Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it was a failure. The book draft was a failure, and they asked me to rewrite it. And I thought, oh my God, I might be an award-winning journalist, but I can't write books. And am I really meant to do this? This sucks. It's not, people aren't going to want to read it. So they asked me to redo it. So I redid the book. And I really studied best-selling books out there and what made them marketable and what made books viral. And I redid the book, presented it, and I was nervous as heck. I was like, oh my God, are they going to like this? Or are they going to fire me? But I said I would finish it. So I did. And they said, yes, it's marketable. The book went on to do 5 editions. And when I was at events with the author, they had tears in their eyes, audiences had tears in their eyes, saying how much that book had changed their lives for generations to come. And the author, a few years ago, told me that book had launched a division for his business that is now worth more than $100 million. So the thing is that he's on his way to billionaire status, but that is one small revenue stream for his business. So for others, it's like, if your book could be a small revenue stream for you, is that something you'd be interested in doing? Right. And especially now that we're in the online world, there's so much you can do with books. It sets you up as a thought leader, as an expert. It consolidates your body of work and your methods, and more importantly, your personal story, what makes you different than anybody else who might be in the same industry. So there's many, many ways to use a book for marketing. And in that talk, I give just 9 ways to turn your book into a marketing machine.
Oh, I love that. And what an incredible story for you to want to become a book writer, try it, fail at it, and then turn around, find the things you needed to in order to succeed. Like, way to go.
Thank you.
And so for today, I know you're going to tell us a little bit about why and how a book will get you more clients online. and which is your talk coming up in the Get More Clients Online Virtual Summit on April 28th. And so I'd love to hear your perspective and maybe get a sneak peek on what you're going to deep dive into in your talk.
Yeah, sure. So, in the talk, I talk a lot about your personal story. I also talk about how to tell your stories in a way that you have credibility, because we're so often told to show our vulnerability, right? But vulnerability doesn't necessarily translate to credibility. Those two have to be aligned. And then that gives you the components for creating a great book that then can be marketed in many, many different ways. So I think the key thing is understanding that a book sort of becomes your content Bible. It becomes your methodology. It becomes the place where you share your signature talk, your vulnerability to success story that is your signature talk, that people can identify with, that people know is unique to you. And then, like I said, I share 9 different ways to market. So I'll just share one story. So there was, for instance, one woman who, she's very successful. She is a black belt karate specialist. She is a certified airplane pilot. She's an international speaker and so on. And she happens to have a physical condition, which I won't go into because we'll share it in the talk. And we could have written her book either as a memoir, sharing how she overcame her physical limitation to become this very successful speaker, or we could have gone after her credibility because she wanted to speak to corporations and the person who's working in a cubicle. So the book was centered on success and the qualities of success, the keys to success, rather than focusing on her journey, meaning telling it as a memoir. We still shared her personal story of how when she was growing up, she had to overcome these challenges. And but the same stories became stories about innovation, about consistency, about balance, and about faith. So rather than sharing her story as like a memoir, we shared her story in a way that showed where she came from, but also showed her credibility and her expertise in these different areas, making the book universal, making the book such that other people could relate to it, even if they didn't have her specific circumstance. And all of us have really unique stories. We all have different backgrounds and so on. And we want to tell that because that's what makes us unique. But at the same time, we want to have that universal element, that the universal elements of, for example, never giving up, or the universal message of you are worthy, and that's always been my thing, which is that your message is worthy. What you have to share is worthy. What your story is and your experiences is worthy. And when you can share your universal message, you're able to relate to people of all kinds of backgrounds, all ages, all platforms, all marketing platforms, so whether it's on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, whatever, your universal message resonates in a way that speaks to your specific audience as well as a larger audience and draws people in. So that's just a mini thing.
No, wow. I mean, I love that. And it is so incredibly valuable to not only identify what story you want to tell and what that message is, but then how to tell it and what the best way is. People who are watching this video, this is only a micro appetizer of what is going to be shared at the Get More Clients Online Virtual Summit on April 28th. I can't wait for you to hear the rest of Helen's talk and all of her points because they're just so valuable. So be sure to snag your ticket now. We're going to post a link in the comments so that you can get to it directly. And Helen, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, let's keep an eye on the comments and see if we can answer anybody's questions about how to tell their story the best way and how a book is a valuable tool for them. Thank you so much, Helen.